I have previously said that Ra is used in many verses in the Quran in the sense of seeing metaphorically, see Anam 76, Hud 70, Taha 10. The interesting thing is that almost all of them are used in stories about Egypt. I think the concept of the all-seeing eye, the eye of Ra, has something to do with this. At the same time, I became more certain about one thing. The gods that the Quran wants us to fear are the gods of Egypt. Instead of giving separate names, the word Allah, el-Lahu, meaning he, is used. They are the ones who destroy the nations. Traces of their advanced technology and sophisticated weapons are traced on the wall of the Abydos temple in Egypt. The Egyptian gods are becoming so powerful that they build pyramids in every continent they conquer and begin to use their people as slaves. This includes the Nepalese, Hindu and Chinese, who are the races of the first, original people. When Brahma Ibrahim starts to get close to the pharaohs, gives his wife to one of the pharaohs as a gift, they become aware of some hidden secrets. Moses, a Hebrew, also learns some ancient information, the science of magic and sorcery, and some of the technological weapon codes from the Council of Superior Minds to which the pharaohs were affiliated, and they leave Egypt. With this information, Aaron and Samiri, who were with Moses, were able to give life to the body of a calf. In other words, they brought the dead back to life. See Taha 88. Jesus, the successor of Moses, does the same thing on people. The war between the pharaohs, superior intelligence, the sky god ancestors, and Abraham's ancestors thousands of years ago is described as a heavenly war in the Mahabharata epic in the Bible, and in the Surah Elephant in the Quran. When I say, "Did you not see what your Lord did to the owners of the elephants?" it is said that the Hindus and Egyptians had a great war and the Hindus were defeated in this war. I said that the Egyptian gods used technological weapons in this war and they engraved them on the wall of the Abydos temple. Don't believe the fairy tales that ancient societies were completely primitive. I recommend you watch my video titled, Technological Weapons in the Quran, where I discuss this subject in detail. You may ask, if the Egyptian kings' gods were the continuation of the superior mind and/or a privileged nation, why were they defeated? I just gave the answer. Because of the ancient knowledge obtained by Brahma and Saraswati, Abraham and his wife Sarah, which Hindus use as a Trojan horse. You may ask, what does Abraham and Brahma have to do with each other? I will elaborate on this topic in another video. For now, just know that there is a connection between these two concepts. By the way, I don't know if it's a coincidence, the hottest place in India is the Agni Nakshatram, fire star, region of the city of Chennai, and the average highest temperature recorded in the shade is 45 degrees. Isn't it weird? I previously thought that hell was the Gehinnom Valley in Israel, but I may be wrong just for this topic. To summarize, sacred stories take place around the Middle East, Asia and Africa. No holy book provides information about the Mayans in America, the Aborigines in Australia or the Arctic, their lifestyles and the tools, equipment they had. It is true that the Quran reveals some secret knowledge of the superior minds of ancient races, and it is also highly probable that this knowledge was given consciously to ordinary people who wanted to start an uprising against the tyranny of the sky god. Because it says in a verse, as Safat 10, but he who slanders words will be pursued by a piercing flame, and will destroy him. In other words, no one can risk stealing and running away with such important and confidential information. Just as it was difficult to infiltrate the Pentagon and obtain military information, it was equally difficult to obtain the plans of the Egyptian gods at that time, but if you could convince someone from the inside to do the job, then you could access classified information. This is exactly what Abraham, Moses, Jesus and Muhammad did. Perhaps these were adjectives and all of these adjectives were actually used for one person. I have previously mentioned the relationship of the snake symbol with medicine, genetics. The snake is also associated with the staff in the Quran and is written as snake. In many verses the staff turns into a snake. In Arabic, the word, mu, indicates belonging. Therefore, it can mean, Moses, owner of the staff. The letter for Jesus is also in the form of a snake and is likely to be the staff itself. Muhammad means the praised one, the one who is praised. In other words, there are no separate people, they all describe a single person. This could be Abraham, or Moses, or Jesus himself. If we look at the spelling, the name written in the simplest way is Isa. Therefore, the main person may be Jesus, i.e. the snake. There is also strong evidence that Jesus is Horus. As I mentioned before, Jesus' resurrection of the dead was possible thanks to genetic information stolen from the pharaohs. The first incident of resurrecting the dead belongs to the Egyptian queen Isis. She resurrects her dead husband Osiris, and from these two, Horus, Jesus is born. Interestingly, in the Bible, the gods who descend from the sky with the lamb, i.e. Jesus, and harvest the people are animal-headed gods drawn in Egyptian hieroglyphs. See Bible Revelation 4-5. As can be seen, the Quran, the Torah and the Bible contain ancient information. Ordinary people, on the other hand, name the super-intelligent technologies whose secrets they cannot solve as miracles, spirits, jinns, fairies, ghosts, afterlife, angels, dragons, etc. In particular, it is truly absurd to claim that the Quran is a universal and timeless book. Of course, there is useful information in it, but it is necessary to distinguish it from other tales. For example, from the verses that discuss the sexual life of the messenger, see Surah Al-Ahzab. The people of Sumer are used as slaves by the Anunnaki, the ancestors of the pharaohs, who are taller, more intelligent and more ruthless. Later, one of the slaves' grandchildren becomes aware of the secret knowledge of these gods and, thanks to this knowledge, they declare war on the gods and defeat them. They are also sinking their other headquarters, Yucatan, Bermuda, Atlantic, Heracleion, etc., underwater. This is the summary story I extracted from the holy books and other sacred texts. The war between the gods and the slaves, ordinary people, is still ongoing. Almost all the secrets of the Egyptian gods have been revealed. Whoever has the electrical, electromagnetic, genetic and other technological knowledge now, they are the ones who rule the world. Of course, the other side is not sitting idle either. They are as powerful as them and are trying to improve the existing technology. Let's see which side will be the winner of the last war.